call the Carroll County delegation to order on August 15th, and if everyone will stand with me. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I am passing out an agenda that I printed off my computer this morning. I just want to tell you quickly what we'll be looking at after public input. We'll be talking with the sheriff. I think he was ready for a 10 o'clock, but if you want to let him know that he can come up whenever he's ready, or if he's not ready, we'll wait until 10. We'll look at the first quarter report. I think the second quarter report is probably not ready. We won't do that until August. We do have some discussion we want to do on the 501(c) for the new nursing home. And Representative McCarthy has been on a subcommittee with Robin Reed talking about the health insurance. And I just want everyone to know, if you are here to give input on the UNH extension, what's going to happen is, Mark, you are having a 6 o'clock public hearing for that?
Yes.
And so that I will not be taking any input for extension this morning, because we do have a public hearing that has been noticed in the paper, and I'm sure that everyone will get a chance to do that. And Mark, if you can, before we go into public input, can you tell me exactly what we're going to be doing and what you want to be discussing at tonight's meeting?
Yep, thank you, Madam Chairman. Subcommittee hearing, during our process hearing that the delegation wanted more input from the public.
Wait a minute. Norman, why don't you just take one of those chairs and sit beside Laurie, and you'll find some room. Okay, go ahead. Excuse me, Mark.
Hearing that more input from the public was warranted. Posted a hearing to discuss the delegation present position of providing space for the cooperative extension operations at the former Carroll County nursing home. That is what the meeting is about, and we'll be taking input on that.
Okay, thank you very much. I
Thank you.
appreciate that. So if anybody is in the audience that wants to talk at a great length about UNH extension, we will not do it this morning. Mark will be holding a public hearing. All members of the delegation are more than welcome to come. I assume that the subcommittee will be there. Mark will be handling and facilitating the public hearing. I'll be here, but I won't be the chair. Yes, Representative Baxter.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Who are the members of the subcommittee?
Yes, and I think that there is a reading. So if you could read, Karen, I'm
Mark
sorry.
Chairman, myself, Frank McCarthy, Steve Schmidt.
Thank you.
Okay. But anyone can come, and I think that we have noticed that it will be here in this room. However, if there are enough people, we may just we move ourselves to the dining room if it's going to be available, because it's still 6 o'clock is still eating time.
It's still dinner.
It's still dinner at 6.
It's dinner at 6.
It's dinner at 6. So what we will do is, hopefully we do not have an overflow crowd, but if we do, we'll have to handle it until the dining room. And how long do the dining rooms, Sandy?
I think the problem today is that it's going to be so warm that the residents will look forward to going to the dining room and be staying in the dining room because of the coolness of the dining room versus the hallways and what have you. So.
Okay, all right, so thank you. So what we will do is that we will have the public hearing here, and if we have had public hearings before and there have been too many, we may have to figure out what we do, whether people will abide us to reschedule, or whether they'll be okay to be able to listen from the halls. Last time we had a discussion with too many people, nobody liked the idea of staying in the hall. Representative Absent.
Could we, as a backup, use the maintenance garage? Willie's here, we could ask him.
Is there room, or is
We don't
there?
have enough chairs to sit down, but
Of course,
Yeah. Well, let's do that. If there is, for commissioners, if you know of a place that would be an alternative place other than this meeting room, which we may not have enough room for, I would appreciate that. So, okay, I think that's all of the little pieces of information I have to ask you, and I would like now for public input. Is there any public input that you would, from the public, on what we are doing? Yes, sir.
Is the Fourth Amendment issue going to be discussed at this meeting? I don't have.
At the checkpoints and the sheriff's, their side has said that will be discussed. Whether you call it Fourth Amendment or whether we call it checkpoints is a semantics, okay? Yes.
Will there be public comment during that discussion, or?
We'll wait and see what happens, and we will go from there. There is one of our members that is not here, has emphatically said that it's probably not in our purview to do anything about the checkpoints, and whether or not we can do anything, but we will listen and see what happens, and the sheriff is ready to talk to us. So that's where we'll go. Okay? Is there any further input? Public input? Okay, seeing none, I don't know do we know if the sheriff is available?
He'll be up in like 5 minutes.
Okay, all right, so let's, first of all, let's look, and what we'll do is start looking at the first quarter report. I know that you have had this for a while, delegation members, and what I would like to do is, if you want to, what we can do is go page by page. When the sheriff gets here, we'll switch over. So let's start with expenditures. We have everybody have their budget that we got last time. You weren't here last time, so probably I can actually. Okay, on the general, we are going on the general fund, and on page 1, there is the commissioner's budget, and if you go down to the bottom line, it says total for the commissioners, they're at 20%. They were when this was posted through March 31st. Does anyone have any questions? Karen, Representative Umberg, I'm sorry.
I sent to Kathy a list of questions for the various concerns that I had about the budget. And I did receive input from the nursing home, but that was the only.
Did you bring a list of those questions
No,
with you?
no, because my computer's sick.
Okay.
And
I have the list,
Yes.
if you'd like me to make copies for everybody.
Okay, does
Is that
everybody want to have
appropriate?
Yeah, that would be good, and then we can talk about that. But other than Karen's issues, which will Representative Umberger's issues, we will do is get a copy, and then we will go. Commissioner.
If we wanted to answer the 2 questions she had on the commissioner's budget, one was unemployment tax expense. 90% has been spent. The unemployment tax expense we budgeted for, but the rate was increased. We had no control over that, so that's why that was at 90% for the first quarter. And I believe that's a one-time
It's, the first quarter is when most of the.
paid in the first quarter.
For all departments.
Okay.
The other question was on 067 under advertising.
Mm-hmm.
We spent 180%. That was for the annual report. We put out advertising for bids for the annual report, and they tend to come in within a few dollars of each other between the one here in Ossipee and the one in North Conway. And we look at doing one year and the other the next year. There doesn't seem to be any difference in the processing and so forth of our annual report. We're satisfied with both printing companies, but that is for advertising in the local papers for putting out bids for the annual report.
Okay, and one of the things that we may want to do is that if we want to, through the budget process, and I don't think we can do it today, but be able to say that your process of switching between one and another, instead of going out for bids, because if we're spending all that money and always coming up
Yeah.
with two, it may be something that the delegation would say that that's an okay, that they wouldn't have to bid on it. But that's something that we will talk about.
It looks like, you know, when we say it's 180%, we only had $100 budgeted. So, I mean, a small figure, and we spent 180, so it makes it look really serious
Yeah.
expense. But
But it
anyway,
may
that's the
be-
explanation for that one.
Karen, is that okay by you? Also, I don't know, but we can think about that issue if it's okay not to go out to bid for the annual report, that we would do something during the budget process next year. Okay?
I think that's a very good suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then let's, does anybody else got, yes, Representative Carroll.
I'd like to look at 005 overtime. First quarter, you're very close to 50%.
And can you have a reasoning for that?
The reason for that is that we have auditors come in on the first part of the year, because our auditing company comes in and does the audit, and they have to spend extra time to provide the material for the auditing group. I think there's at least 2 people, maybe 3. And so that's the overtime, and probably no more would be spent out of that. But it's in the first quarter, because it's done in the month of February.
So that's more
Yes.
or less normal, then. That
Yep,
a lot of it'll go at the beginning and less at the end.
exactly.
But also with the auditing, so that everybody can get a chance to give the auditors what they need, and they're here whenever they get here. So, are there any further questions under the commissioners? Okay, seeing none on that, they're at 20% of their expenditures. The treasurer, does anybody have a question? Karen, did you, Representative Umberger, did you have a question on the treasurers? Okay, they're at 18%. Are there any questions? Representative Ellison.
Does workman's compensation vary by occupation within the organization? I know there's different for loggers, for welders, but this, with the workman's compensation, it's just for my own education. It's only 25% for the treasurer, and yet if you go through here, it's 100% for most of the others. Didn't the rate go up?
The rate did go up. Okay, I think they're,
I can't answer that one right off, but if you look at the next one on the HR, it's only 24% for the first quarter.
maybe what we do is, who puts the rate for the workman's comp? The
I'm
state
sure the
sets-
insurance company does. We don't.
The state insurance.
I guess my question is, don't all office workers or blue-collar worker types
I would
have
think-
one rate?
I would think so. Yeah.
And Ian, is our register of deeds behind you, is shaking, is nodding his head, not shaking his head, nodding.
I believe it's the different categories, and it's
Is it?
also based on risk, you know, on the level of, I imagine the jail would probably be one of the highest, the sheriff's department, people who are more at risk.
Yeah. And so the insurance department is the one that sets the rate. So maybe what we can do is find out some information for you, Representative Babson.
I'm sure.
What? Yes, Robin Reed would probably know, but at the moment she's not here. Okay.
So dropping
Yeah.
coins on your feet isn't a high risk when it comes to
No.
the treasurer's department.
No, probably not. Yeah, the gold bullion doesn't hurt the toes. Okay, all right. Any further questions on the treasurer? Okay, they're at 18% of their expenditures. Let's go to special fees and services. Looks like nobody's done anything. Well, that's not, I shouldn't say that. Nothing has been posted as of the 31st of March. I shouldn't say that. Nothing has been posted, so are there any questions on special fees and services? Okay, they're at a 0%, doesn't mean that they haven't not done anything. Okay, human resources, and services. We are at a 19% of the expenditures. Do we have any questions on